We've got ones that can see. Welcome everybody to today's show. This article just came out in the last couple of days that Elon Musk has trademarked the terms telepathy and telekinesis for his Neuralink. This is really important because this is almost like what I've been saying over the years, where I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if one of these corporations came out with the mark of the beast and they called it the mark of the beast. I wouldn't be surprised if it's eventually Elon Musk's company, Neuralink, that calls maybe their upgraded Neuralink the mark of the beast. But think about this. There's Christians and conservatives out there that support Elon Musk because he stands by Donald Trump's side. And they hear this stuff and they don't even realize that they're being groomed into accepting this technology. They're being groomed into witchcraft and sorcery. Telepathy and telekinesis are a form of witchcraft. There are many books on telepathy and witchcraft. There are many forums on telepathy and witchcraft. There's a lot of telekinesis involved in witchcraft. For anyone who doesn't know, telepathy is the supposed communication of thoughts or ideas by means other than the known senses. So communicating with someone else's mind with your own mind without using actual dialogue. Telekinesis, the supposed ability to move objects at a distance by mental power or other non-physical means. And we've seen the conditioning with telekinesis and telepathy through superhero films and television series or Netflix series like Stranger Things, right? The character Eleven, who also had the ability to remote view, which ties into this in the future because the government has obviously been experimenting with telekinesis, telepathy, and remote viewing for a long period of time. And it all ties into operations like MK Ultra. But people have been conditioned into this. They don't even realize it. Look at all the characters in the superhero films, right? Professor X from the X-Men, Jean Grey, Doctor Strange. These are just some of the characters that perform either telekinesis or telepathy. The Scarlet Witch, telekinesis tutorial, right? So what he is trademarking is he legitimately should be calling it witchcraft. But of course, most Christians out there have swayed into this new age Christianity, where of course what they talk about at the church is positive things and things that are going on in politics, and then they align themselves with a political party, and they never talk about things like witchcraft, which are all around us. And if you followed my channel over the years, you see it every single day, right? Whether it's music videos, things that are being promoted to children, children's toys, Harry Potter, magic wands that they're selling to kids, constantly pushing this, right? But most adults at this stage don't want to believe that because they grew up on Disney. They enjoy taking their kid to Disney World. So when they hear things like this, they automatically put up a wall and think that witchcraft is just some type of an expression, that it's not a real thing. But the Bible's very clear about witchcraft and specifically about what to do with witches, right? So people have been trained and conditioned through movies and television shows into accepting telepathy or telekinesis and thinking that it's actually cool. But again, the government's been experimenting this going back to operations like Project Stargate, which have to do with remote viewing. And now Elon Musk is coming out and developing his brain chip, the Neuralink, and calling it and trademarking it and patenting the words telepathy and telekinesis. You can't make it up. Now, before I read to you the article and what it says in regards to what he's trying to do, because there's various articles out there, including one that says, is mind control next? Is Neuralink seeks telepathy and telekinesis? Could mind control be next? And that's the truth in plain sight, because this thing that they're trying to build out, this BCI, which is a brain-computer interface, is in fact mind control. They tell you that your brain is interacting with the computer. What they don't tell you is that the computer is sending messages to your brain. And again, we could talk about the mark of the beast. Think about it. In the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verses 16 through 18, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. And his number is 600 and again, if you're anyone who's new out there, think about that. Process that, right? Buy or sell. We're living in a world where they're removing cash, they're removing pennies. We're getting to the point where everything's going to be done digitally, right? So can you see a world where you only buy or sell with your cell phone? Most people can, because if you start paying attention to how they're using QR codes for restaurant menus and everything else, start thinking about how most transactions are done on phones or on the internet, right? So no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. And I'm not saying that a cell phone is the mark of the beast, but let's listen clearly to what Elon Musk has told us, as I've shown you many times. Smartphones are going to become obsolete because BCIs like Neuralink are the way forward. And what they haven't really told people yet is that Neuralink will connect you to the internet. So when we look at that verse about the beast and the mark of the beast, and here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 600 We see 666 around us all the time associated with the internet. The internet being the beast. The internet being the beast. And only being able to access the internet if you have this certain mark. And humans are going to be connected to the internet, as crazy as it sounds. Now, again, let me play for you these quick clips. Here's Elon Musk talking about how the Neuralink is a Fitbit for your brain. They've been training you, again, with all of this wearable technology into accepting this technology under your skin. And of course, I'll play a clip from his mother, the witch May Musk, because this is exactly how they're going to start marketing this to people so that you accept it in our society instead of saying this shouldn't even be allowed. This is unethical. This is a violation of human rights. Well, tell that to people who are paralyzed. Tell that to people who are blind, right? Because this device is supposedly going to help the blind see, and people who can't walk again. So you're not allowed to push back on it. And eventually, of course, it'll be marketed to you when they start telling you that you can live longer, live forever, and not get sick anymore. But here they are discussing the Neuralink.
In a lot of ways, it's kind of like a Fitbit in your skull with tiny wires. We feel confident about getting the link procedure, the installation of a link, done in under an hour. So you can basically go in the morning and leave the hospital in the afternoon. In a lot of ways, it's kind of like a Fitbit in your skull with tiny wires.
People like your son.
Yes.
I mean, he walks around as the wealthiest man in the world, bar none. Do they like him, really?
You know, I don't like the word wealthy or billionaire or things like that because I think it's degrading. I think he's the genius of the world. And people are loving him for that. They don't, when they see me, they go crazy because I'm his mother. But they love him because of what he does, and they respect him, and I'm very proud of him.
I can't imagine what it would be like to be his mother, watching him go from PayPal to rockets to Tesla to all just one thing after another. You ever surprised about what he's coming up with next?
Well, every time I'm surprised, and every time I say, don't take on something else. And he doesn't listen to me. And then he makes a big change. And this Neuralink, people saying, why I don't want something in my head. I said, well, you aren't paralyzed. So, or you aren't blind.
Good point.
If you're blind and you don't want to see, then you can argue the point. You don't have to have a chip in your head. I think he's the genius of the world. And this Neuralink, people saying, why I don't want something in my head. I said, well, you aren't paralyzed. So, or you aren't blind.
Good point.
If you're blind and you don't want to see, then you can argue the point. You don't have to have a chip in your head. A chip in your head. A chip in your head.
So, of course, I couldn't imagine why somebody wouldn't want to take the Neuralink, right? Says the witch May Musk, who couldn't show more New World Order Illuminati symbolism than sure he does. I mean, 666, all-seeing eye, dressed up as the Baphomet. I mean, I actually have hundreds of pictures, but I'll spare your stomachs in case you don't have a barf bag on standby. Now, it's believed that May Musk is, in fact, the moon child from the ritual performed by Aleister Crowley and Jack Parsons, which was the Babylon working ritual, which many believe Mae Musk was indeed the moon child who was destined to give birth to the Antichrist. So keep in mind, before I get into this article now, about what he is trademarking, which means that we'll see these products on the market as called telepathy and telekinesis. So hopefully it gives us a leg up in trying to wake people up. You would think that Christians would understand witchcraft, sorcery, telepathy, telekinesis, right? I know a lot of people think that it's fictional, but it's going to become possible with this type of technology. And it is, in fact, possible, according to a lot of the documents, at least that Satanists and witches claim to be able to actually perform, which is why they perform these disgusting, disturbing rituals that they do in the first place, which is to gain access to be able to do these types of rituals. But again, with Mae Musk talking about the blind being able to see again and all these miracles, don't forget, Elon Musk has said that the future Neuralink patients could get robot superpowers. So that ties into what I said earlier in regards to how this is being marketed to you and how you've at the same time been having all of these superhero movies crammed down your throat. Every month there's a superhero movie, right? And every month they ask you, what you want to see? Oh, people get all excited. They go to these Comic Cons, they ask you what your superpower is, right? And remember, Elon Musk also has stirred debate on claims that AI will enable you to live forever, that artificial intelligence will enable you to live forever. So, of course, this is all how it's going to be marketed, because that's brainwashing, right? Tell you it's going to help people walk who can't walk. Then tell you that it'll cure your anxiety, your depression, right? Even though most people have depression and anxiety from all of the frequencies and all of the chemtrails and all the chemicals that they dump on us every single day and the 5G towers, etc., right? They'll tell you, oh, you could have superpowers. Superpowers? Yeah, you could do certain things like telepathy and telekinesis, right? And then eventually they'll tell you, oh yeah, you can live forever. And that should remind everybody of that verse in Revelation chapter 9, verse 6. And in those days shall men seek death and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. So back to this now. Elon Musk Neuralink has taken remarkable steps towards realizing a future that once seemed confined to science fiction and metaphysics by filing trademark applications for telepathy and telekinesis with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. These applications, submitted on March 3rd, 2025, offer fascinating insights into the company's ambitious vision beyond its current brain-computer interface technology. And again, the government has been experimenting with telepathy, telekinesis, and remote viewing for a very, very long time. There's lots of documented CIA operations, including Project Stargate. Do you think it's a coincidence that Donald Trump, who's aligned with Elon Musk, who is now the president of the United States, decided to name his project Stargate? No, it's not. And I've covered that video, available on the website. So from medical applications to human communication, the telepathy trademark application specifically includes descriptive text, such as downloadable and recorded computer software and hardware for use in relation to assistive technology, and implantable brain-to-computer interface for facilitating communication and control of software and hardware. While Musk has previously indicated that telepathy would be Neuralink's first product aimed at helping people with paralysis control computers through thought alone, the application language suggests even broader ambitions that could include enabling telepathic communication between humans equipped with Neuralink implants. Trademark attorney Josh Gerben notes that the ethical, privacy, and security concerns surrounding thought-based communication and control are immense. These filings were made on an intent-to-use basis, which legally requires Neuralink to have genuine plans to develop and commercialize these concepts within the coming years. Such aspirations align with the statements Musk made on the Lex Fridman podcast in August 2024, where he discussed potential new ways of interacting with other humans through Neuralink's tech, provided individuals on both ends have the implant. The telekinesis trademark suggests Neuralink is working toward technology that would allow users to control physical objects with their thoughts alone. While initial applications might focus on enabling individuals with mobility impairments to control assistive devices, the potential extends to broader domains where mind-controlled interfaces could revolutionize human-machine interactions. The progression from current experimental implants to commercially available products capable of enabling telepathy or telekinesis will likely require several more years of clinical testing and regulatory approvals. Nevertheless, these trademark filings suggest Neuralink is positioning itself for a future where the boundaries between mind and machine become increasingly blurred, a vision that aligns with Musk's long-stated ambitions to achieve symbiosis with artificial intelligence and potentially mitigate what he perceives as risks from advanced AI development, right? So make the AI as out of control as possible, which they're already telling you that AI is going to be out of control, it could be dangerous, and then tell you the only way to survive and to be able to combat AI and taking your jobs because it's so much smarter than you is to have AI and Neuralink implanted in your body so you could become one with machine and you could be just as smart as the machine. You won't have a choice, right? You won't have a choice because you'll have no money. The government eventually force you into it because you'll be so dependent on the government that you won't really have a choice. They'll make it so that you can't farm anymore like they're already doing by dumping chemicals all over us every single day, making it difficult for farmers to farm. This is what we're headed towards, ladies and gentlemen. The face of this movement that is supposedly the patriot movement that is holding the government accountable so they could bring in AI governance has now patented telekinesis and telepathy, right? I mean, literally talking about moving objects with your mind, right? People have been trained and desensitized. That's the point of these shows like Stranger Things and all these superhero movies like the X-Men where the characters do this. They move stuff with their mind. This is witchcraft. What do people think witchcraft actually is? Do you think that witchcraft is a bunch of haggly-looking women with armpit hair who smell like sulfur, holding hands in the woods and praising the grass? Huh? Think they're out there with Miracle Grow performing rituals? This is what witchcraft is. And this guy who is now aligned with Christians and the MAGA movement and conservatives believe can do no wrong is bringing about and patenting telekinesis and telepathy, letting you know that eventually we're going to have this and sell this to you, even though this is all created by DARPA and your government. Musk is the face for it. Somebody's got to present it to you. Somebody's got to tickle your ears. Somebody's got to tell you all these wonderful things. We have to have somebody presented to us as some technological maverick who's gone to Mars and has done all this stuff. So we should trust him that he knows exactly what he's doing. He's smarter than we are. And look, he's cutting our taxes, huh? And he's telling you that men are men and women are women. Oh, yay, right? Somebody has to market this to people. And it looks like this is the guy who might be marketing the marketers. This could be the Antichrist. We could look at this from so many different angles. But one thing we cannot debate is that telekinesis and telepathy are witchcraft. If you don't believe me, you can look it up. If you're a Christian out there that defends it, and you're one of these Christians that defends going to psychics and all that kind of stuff, okay, that is a part of sorcery. They've normalized that. The New Age movement has normalized sorcery by telling you that these are all things, and they heal you and they do this, and these people who can predict the future, it's witchcraft, okay? And now people are so desensitized to that. We see Christians partaking in so many forms of witchcraft. They're taking their kids to see Harry Potter. So what more really needs to be said? But of course they go, come on, you're being over the top, right? Buy their kid a wand, right? Gateways into, satanic worship, which will be the norm in the future. And technology like this, when they mix man with machine, well, just like I said earlier, people will seek death and likely not be able to find it. So share this video with people. Even the fact they're talking about mind control, future, from concept to reality, it's incredible. They're talking about, hey, this technology in your brain would be able to help you move a soda can across the room because that's real necessary, right? But you can see people getting on board with it, can't you? Think about the Alexa and what that actually does and how useless that is and how people are dependent on it now, right? Alexa, turn on my TV. Alexa, flush my turd down the bowl, right? Alexa, can you turn on the lights? I can't see, right? At first when that came out, most people, including myself, and I still say it to this day, what a ridiculous concept. What? Maybe if you're paralyzed in a bed and you can't turn the lights on, but you might as well get a clap on. Anyone remember that? Clap on, clap off. The clapper? Yeah, that's what we started with. Now we're at a point where people are using this smart technology to do everything in their home, right? So you don't think that they'll convince you that there's a purpose behind performing telekinesis by saying, well, you could do more than move a can. right? Well, we'll market it to you that this paralyzed person can now grab a fork from across the room. And then they'll say, well, you could do it too because it'll save you time at work, right? You can be able to pick up a fork across the room so you don't have to get up and get away from your desk, from your important work, right? Oh, you could do this while you're at the gym. You could do that there, right? You. Narcissist, are you listening? And they'll go right on board with it. When they hear it now, they'll say, there's no way I'm in, right? But if I told you in the year 2000 that people wouldn't be able to leave their homes without a cell phone, you would have said I was nuts. If I told you in the year 2000 that like 90% of the population had Facebook, you would have said, I'm nuts, right? Like I've said before, every person that I knew when Facebook came out said the same thing. This, quote, this is so gay, okay? Now, I stick with that stance and have never gone on and don't have an account, never had one, never will. But every one of those people who said, quote, this is so gay, they've all got accounts now, right? Because time desensitizing you, lots of stuff out there about how you're weird if you don't have Facebook, you're weird if you don't leave your house without a cell phone. These people give in, just like these people gave in to peer pressure to go and put poison in their body a few years ago. All it takes is a little mind control, propaganda, and time, and it works. So right now you might say these people wouldn't want telekinesis, but you know that they will. You know, of course, kids will, because they've seen all the Harry Potters and whatever garbage comes out every week that they watch, right? And they're like, you could do just like Harry Potter. What? I can? Right? And they'll want to do that. And the adults will go, it's not really witchcraft, because they'll just be programmed into thinking that it's technology and energy harvesting aren't actually a form of witchcraft, but they are. And that's what all this is that's going on. And Elon Musk is telling you right in front of his face that he's a Satanist. But nobody out there wants to hear it. Why? Because he's telling you that he's going to cut down the IRS. He's going to go after the liberals who have been giving your tax money to Sesame Street in Iraq. All make-believe to get you in bed with the devil himself. Share this video. Hopefully it wakes people up. I thank everybody out there for being here. I hope you're all doing well. God bless you and your families, as always.